What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and I don't want to sound like a guru for this, but because this happens in every company that happens in the world when there's an acquisition or yes, this is not a merger. See, the difference between a merger and an acquisition is people like to use the word merger sometimes because they don't. It sounds embarrassing to hear you got bought out. An acquisition means you got bought out. So this was an acquisition of the UFC, not a merger. You know, people say these different things all the time and don't even know what in the world they're talking about. And the reason why I say this is because of the simple fact that the company decided that they were going to go and move into a different direction. Translation, heads had to roll. You know, when Cook was gone, who was like their international CEO of marketing, and I don't like him anyway because he's a city guy. And I'm Manchester United red man, you know, that's what it is. So, screw him anyway. So, I mean, I don't like to see people lose their jobs, but I guess he wasn't doing his job effectively, or he's part of the old Lorenzo regime that they don't want anymore. And there were plenty of them. There's over 60 to 80 people. Roughly is going to be about 100 people cut out of the company. Even though they're not closing any of the offices, they're trimming the fat, as per se, as far as what's happening with the company. You know, so for me, I thought, when are they going to get rid of Dana White? They wanted, trust me, they want to get rid of Dana White. They couldn't. Because one, to get rid of Dana White, and Dana wants to go. Dana really doesn't want to be there. They need to transition him out. And this is the way to transition him out. He has I think a little percentage or whatever, because they want to keep him in. He's too big of a face. You see him too much for him not to be a part of it. So you just can't cut Dana White out. And it's like, well, if you cut Dana out, who are you going to replace him with? But this goes to show people that the UFC is not what you thought it was. Why were they acquired? Why was they spent astronomical amount of money to buy it? Because they see what it could become. You understand what I'm saying? It's not that the company was worth $4 billion. They wanted to make sure nobody else came around and outbidded them. They see where this thing can go. It'll generate more than $4 billion. They'll make that up in a couple of years, in the direction they're going to go in because of their agency more than anything. That's why you have all this entertainers are involved in purchasing the UFC and getting it out of the casino owners' hands. And they feel that they can take this into another level. And I think this is going to result to more WWE type bouts. And it's going to commercialize the sport even more and make the original fans of the sport not really like it as much. But the commercial people who didn't really watch UFC are going to start to watch it more because they're going to start seeing people they deal with there. So they're going to brand market this thing to death. And that's going to scare people like Dana White who don't want to be involved with it. This program or what this whole philosophy is that they're trying to run by the rest of the world. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. I mean, you know me, I can really care less about what happens to the UFC. You know, Bellator is basically putting a dent in their financials, and pretty soon people are going to start running over to Bellator for bouts, and you're going to see more UFC fighters in Bellator than in the UFC. As UFC starts to introduce all these new, young, and up-and-coming talented fighters, and you're going to have sideshow bobs and sideshow pieces like Conor McGregor that's there to just sell the sport to stupid people who don't follow it. You know, we don't see nothing about Anthony Rumble Johnson yet again. It's all about Conor McGregor. It's all about McGregor and Ronda Rousey. And people's like, when you going to talk about Ronda Rousey's fight and her comeback? Well, I was right there too, wasn't I? Told you the day she got beat, she wouldn't be back for a year. And Lord and behold, it's been a year. And here comes Ronda Rousey. Because now she hasn't really spoken about what happened to anybody. She's never really felt that. And everyone thinks she's still going to be okay to go. No, she isn't. They're hoping she can get this thing to the cards. She's not finna just come in here and beat this girl with an arm bar. And no, it's not going to happen like that. So, we're going to see what happens to Ronda Rousey. I hope she gets her brains beat in, but that's just me.